position by position rankings, going through each position, and I think this one's going to surprise some Bears fans because honestly, it surprised me a little bit too. For those who don't know, this is based off of the rankings on Bias Best of the Best NFC North video that I did a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I'm going through and fact-checking now with stats to see which of these each individual groupings, each team's position by position fact checks to be where I said it would be. And for this one, I had the Vikings 1, the Bears 2, Lions 3, and Packers 4. That's how I had it lined up, with tjhockenson and Josh Oliver being a solid 1-2 punch, Colekmet now adding Gerald Everett, samlaporta and Brock Wright, and then Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft. That's where I had these ranked 1 to 4, but I also said all 4 of these are very good tight end rooms, other than the Packers are kind of developing, and who knows if either of those guys will turn out. They're kind of tight end 2s in my opinion, whereas the Bears have 2 tight end 1s, and the Vikings have a really elite tight end 1 with a really solid, I'd say, verge tight end 1 / tight end 2. A lot of people don't know the name Josh Oliver. They should. He's a solid blocker and receiver. And then Sam Laporta and Brock Wright, the same situation. Well, just this weekend, ESPN Plus had an article with the execs, coaches, scouts, NFL ranking the top 10 tight ends for 2024, and they completely disrespected Colekmet. I agree with Sam Laporta and tjhockenson. I really do. They should be right around 4 and 5. But Colekmet is a tight end 9, 8, 10 at worst, in my opinion. He had a career year last year with almost 800 receiving yards, and he was always a guy out there in the open, making things open up for Justin Fields. I don't understand this one. I'm not going to understand this one. I'm going to let it slide. And then Luke Musgrave also got some votes, is what plus means. He wasn't really ranked. Colekmet was also honorable mention, but he was the 4th one listed down. So I put him at 14. But Luke Musgrave also got a couple votes, and he got votes while Colekmet's at number 14. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But it is what it is. So according to PFF, though, the 3rd highest grade this last year was tjhockenson. The 5th highest was Marcedes Lewis, which combines everything. It's the overall PFF grade, which, you know, he's a very solid run blocker, very solid when he's out there. He does a good job. Sam Laporta was ranked 6th. Colekmet was ranked 11th. But when you have players like Marcedes Lewis ahead of him, it's PFF grade doesn't mean everything, but it is very solid. We are a stacked group in the NFC North. It really is a tight group to be a part of. Other players in the NFC North, you've got Luke Musgrave, who ended up 22nd highest PFF grade. Gerald Everett, who's now a Bear, was the 26th highest PFF grade, obviously last year with the Chargers. You had Tucker Kraft at 34th highest PFF grade. And then as you get down farther and farther, some of the backups end up filling into the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. But overall, the NFC North with Colekmet, Luke Musgrave, Tucker Kraft, tjhockenson, Sam Laporta, Josh Oliver, it really is a stacked group in the NFC North. Tight ends in the NFC North are some of the best of the best. This really is turning into be one of the best divisions in the entire National Football League. So let's get into how we're grading these guys, what we're doing to be able to give them a score on this channel. I have different metrics that I always use, and for this one, we're going to use pass blocking because I think the tight end is your most important role on the line that can also contribute in other ways. Obviously, you want to see your tight ends turn into, you know, your George Kittles and your Travis Kelce's and your Mark Andrews and Sam Laporta's and get the big chunky yards, but they also contribute in other ways. So pass blocking is number 1. This is PFF's grade for pass blocking. Number 2 is contested catches. Your tight ends are usually some of your tallest guys, and they might be needed in that high point or in situations where you need to hit them on the sideline. Your drop percentage, I don't like any receivers or tight ends that have bad drop rates. I think everybody knows that by now on this channel. And then your receiving grade, your PFF grade for pass routes. So first of all, the teams from last year, you've got tjhockenson, Josh Oliver, Johnny Munt from the Vikings, and from the Bears, Colekmet, Robert Tonyan, and Marcedes Lewis. From the Lions, Sam Laporta, Brock Wright, and James Mitchell. And from the Packers, Luke Musgrave, Tucker Kraft, and Ben Sims. And Packers fans will be the same annoying puke Packers fans that they always are. They tend to just be that way. Oh, we've got the best tight end group in the entire NFL. They've got some very good developmental players. We'll see how they come out of this. So first you'll see snaps and receptions there, left and right. Then you'll see pass blocks, contested catch, drop rate, and receptions. You can see players like tjhockenson. Pass blocking of 65.6, 25% contested catch, and 5% drop. Those low drop numbers are what I love, 5 and below. So I really love that. Contested catch, getting up to 40s and 50s, I really like. You can see Colekmet 44.4 with a 1.4% drop rate. Oh, I love what Colekmet did. Baseball bat swing every time he had a touchdown. Give me more, give me more. His receiving grade of 77.7, and you got Samlaporta with a 68.4 contested catch, 7.5 drop rate, so a little high on the drops, but really an elite, good receiving tight end, absolutely 100%. So here's where they were last year, but let's see how they grade out. And with my grading scale that I used, the Bears were just barely third. They were a lot closer to the Lions than I thought they were. Especially with how Robert Tonyan played in some of those games. I think I had some bad recency, but Marcedes Lewis really played well when he was in there. Now, granted, I do grade this based on how many snaps. So it's not just, oh, here's an average. It's based per snap with these guys. So Colekmet carried the heaviest weight for the Bears, then Marcedes Lewis, then Robert Tonyan. I think Robert Tonyan in my head just gave me such negative from some of those big drop passes and some of the bad missed blocks that he had. I'm glad he's not on the team. There's really, you shouldn't say anything too bad because he played pretty well, but we'll leave it at that. But the Bears ended up just below the Lions. So you see the Vikings 34.87, the Lions 32.48, the Bears 32.42, and the Packers 26.52. Well, there wasn't a lot of changes that happened within the NFC North. There really weren't too much turnover that happened within the division. So let's look at the changes. You see Robert Tonyan went to the Vikings. He's really their third option now, really kind of a vet now, just kind of filling out the room. Now we picked up Gerald Everett, which to me was the biggest addition out of anybody in the NFC North. It really is a huge addition because we've got 2 tight end ones now. Other than that, there's really not any changes, but you can see Gerald Everett with his 67.5 pass blocking. All 3 of the Bears tight ends are good pass blockers now. That makes me excited, especially with the rookie quarterback and what we have to offer on this team. It makes me excited for what we can put together in a Shane Waldron offense. This is going to be good. Gerald Everett, 27.3 contested catch and 3.8 drop rate. I love those low drop rates. So let's see how this graded out. They've taken Robert Tonyan with the Vikings. The Bears now have Gerald Everett. Well, the Bears are number 1, and it's not even close. I was too hard. On a reverse is what's usually happened. I was too hard on the Bears. I was giving too much credit. This is for overall tight end rooms, because if you're going to ask me who has the best tight end in the NFC North, of course I'm going to say, well, the Lions and the Vikings, and A and B, really, tjhockenson, Samlaporta. If you're going fantasy football, it's clearly Samlaporta. Last year he had more touchdowns than any tight end and really a ton of yards. So fantasy football, Samlaporta. But as far as best tight end, tjhockenson, Samlaporta right there, 1-2. Colekmet not far behind them. But really, when you take the entire tight end rooms, the Bears are more stacked. And this is averaging out snaps too. So this is a very fair analysis like I've done on all of them. The Bears have sometimes come in 4th. The Bears have sometimes come in 3rd or 2nd. The Bears have the best tight end room in the NFC North. You can't dispute it. I put it on paper and it helps me to be able to see it all out. That's why I do what I do, and that's why I started doing all this and doing this channel, and that makes me excited. Tell me what you guys think. When you look at this and you see Colekmet and Gerald Everett, who really are a 1-2 punch, and if you haven't gotten used to Gerald Everett yet, go look at his highlight tapes. Go look at number 1, his contested catches. I know it says 27.3 there, but he actually is pretty muscular with the ball. Number 2, he never drops it. And number 3, after he gets the ball, he's actually pretty powerful. He's a bulldozer. He runs some people over. There's some fun highlights on him. So if you haven't checked out Gerald Everett yet, you should go do it because he's a huge addition for the Bears. And this is a fun addition for me to be able to see this pan out and see us not only be first in the division in tight end room, but really pretty forcefully first. Colekmet, Gerald Everett, 1-2 punch. One of those guys go down. You're not worried because you've got another tight end 1. And even then, we've got solid pass. It's a good tight end room to have. I'm really excited about this group. Really excited about this because it helps solidify that offensive line. It is the 6th member of the offensive line, sometimes 7th when you're running 12 personnel sets, when you're doing different schemes and doing different things. Sometimes you have 2 pass blockers on there. So it's really nice to be able to have this solid of a tight end group. I like it. Let me know what you guys think. Until next time, claws up, bear down, and dabears.